I've been waiting
for this moment
all my life.
Oh. That was awful, by the way.
What? Are you kidding? I was harmonious as fuck.
I think we need to do a retake of that.
No, it was perfect. First try, no problem. Yeah.
Just like that one editor. I mean, writer.
First try, no problem.
Doesn't edit
no
his
problem. No problem. This is perfect. Harmonious. Welcome back, finally,
Higurashi!
to Higurashi. It's been a long time coming. And, oh boy. Chapter 6.
Number 6.
We're getting through it.
Plowing through it.
We're as soon as we're done with this, we're 3/4 of the way through it.
Heck yeah, we
Can
only
you
got 2
believe
more
that?
chapters after this.
That's crazy. That's hard to believe.
Man, how long has this been going? Since 2016?
16 of
3 years?
November. Yeah, this has been going on for 3 years and a month.
Man.
All right, and we shall continue once more.
Oh, the Higurashi.
Oh man, it's been months. Tsumihoroboshi, the first fall. Atonement chapter. How is your reasoning towards the truth coming along? The next tragedy is ready for you. Enjoy. This is a humorous story with a tragic struggle at the end. The difficulty is 0. You can just join the clowns milling about.
Which one is this one told from?
I don't know.
Who was on the cover?
Keiji? I think. The first time, I would try harder to avoid the inevitable tragedy. The second time, I would be disgusted with the inevitable tragedy. The third time, this is a work of fiction. We may never know what happened the third time. The chorus of the Higurashi had replaced that of the cicadas. Their cries came from a distance, echoed loudly, and then faded away. They sounded so weak and fragile. Reina's voice was just like the cries of the Higurashi, loud and annoying. She'd say something, but the words would quickly fade away. She sounded so fragile that it made me worry she might vanish into thin air along with her words. But nobody is pressuring her to continue. Mion dusted off the hood of an abandoned car and sat down on it as if to show how relaxed she was. She actually did look very relaxed, as if she came here to enjoy the cool breeze of the evening or something. Satoko followed Mion's example and sat down as well. She didn't look nearly as relaxed, however. Thought about following suit, but it felt rude to look away from Reina even for the short time it would take to look for a place to sit down, so I decided to remain standing. Rika-chan didn't sit down either. But she wasn't looking at Reina. Everybody else was looking at Reina, but Rika-chan was looking at the red sky. Rika-chan's expression was hard to describe. She looked pale and blank at the same time, as if all her emotions were gone. Reina wore the same kind of expression. She kept trying to say something, but it seemed like the words were stuck in her throat. She noticed Rika-chan was looking at the sky, so she decided to look that way as well. Mion did the same. So did I. Satoko looked that way too. And with that, there was silence. It was like we were in a concert hall filled with a chorus of the Higurashi, a concert hall with the highest roof in the world. A refreshing, cool breeze tickled our sweaty bodies. I could almost make myself believe we came here to enjoy the breeze and the sunset. I could only wish that was what we came here for. The shadows of the birds flying across the sky soared the feeling of our quiet concert. They reminded us that time hadn't stopped. Nobody wanted to pressure Reina. We didn't want to pressure her either. We wanted to keep the cool red sky as long as we could so Reina could calm down and talk. Right then, I heard a sound, and it brought us all back to reality. The hood Mion was sitting on had made a noise when she moved across her legs. I don't know whether Mion made the noise on purpose or not, but it reminded us that time had been passing by. The noise took our attention away from the sky and back to the ground. Such a tasteless noise seemed to have urged Reina to speak. Reina heaved a small sigh, nodded as if she understood something, and looked at us like she always did. Trying to remember her voice.
There's one thing I wanted to say, before anything else.
She was probably saying it to everybody, but since I'm standing in the middle with her looking at me, I nodded to her to represent our agreement.
I think I did the right thing.
Her voice wasn't hoarse anymore. She sounded just like she always did.
I wonder how much we're allowed to struggle in order to be happy.
It sounded like a question, but nobody answered.
That's why I really like Mii-chan's club. The one rule is to do whatever it takes to win, right? I think that's wonderful. If we were only allowed to do nice things, and if there was a limit to how much we could struggle, people who aren't happy would be able to seize happiness at all. Misfortunes are like a chain reaction, I think. Once they begin, they're very, very hard to escape. In order to escape the chain of misfortunes, you need more than just luck or even assistance. I think you need to struggle as hard as you possibly can. You need to do your best. That's how you seize true happiness. That's what I believe.
Reina stopped talking, looked up, heaved a sigh, and opened her mouth again.
But I'm not saying that I expect you to accept what I did. I know, that was a very bad thing to do. Didn't you all look stunned a while ago? That tells me everything.
I've never seen her smile so derisively like that. That smile looked unbelievably painful. I could really feel how huge the distance between us was. There's nothing physically there, but I felt as if she's talking to us through iron bars or a chain link fence. That's how great the distance between us was.
But it's okay. There's nothing we can do about it. That's just how things are in this world. If I were you, I'd probably look just as stunned and I'd see something irresponsible and merciless. She'd probably set that head back at us.
We're just putting on a mask of sympathy, enjoying the spectacle of a clown on a stage. That's why she said that. She probably expected us to say something in return, but none of us knew what to say. Reina looked disappointed for a moment, then turned and clambered on top of an abandoned car. Then she spread her arms out and gave a little twirl, letting her skirt billow up before she grabbed both ends and gave us a graceful curtsy.
Well then, are you ready for a story? This is the story of how Rina Ryugu did her best.
There was no curtain or spotlight. She was atop an abandoned car amidst the trash piles, a stage specially made for her. We tried not to miss a word of what she was about to say. We believed that was the least we could do to not hurt her feelings.
Hey, Blake.
Yeah.
I think your throat is going to hate you.
No. It's been getting better. I've been working on it. But Chapter 6, Tsumihoroboshi.
I think it's narrated by Reina.
Well, the narration's gonna be done by my normal voice.
Oh, you're not gonna do Reina through the whole...
I think I might die. Let's say it's a winter month, like December right now. What would you do if all of a sudden you had a week of hot and humid days with crying cicadas? Would you still wear your coat and scarf? Absolutely not, right? Even though it's still June. It's already summer to us since we've been having hot days for so long. So it's totally okay to do this kind of club activity in June. At my school, everybody usually does what they want in PE class, but today would be an exception. All my classmates were gathered in the schoolyard. Mion looked over everybody gathered there, then spoke up loudly. Hey everyone, you ready? Yeah! They all raised their water guns in their hands. It's okay to use water guns in June because it's been so hot and humid. All my classmates were joining in, so it's gonna be a big water gun battle. I'm so excited.
It is so exciting to do a club activity with everyone from class. Yeah! It's gonna be so much fun to play outside with everybody together! Together! It's going to be fun for them, but we have to be serious, because we can't lose.
Well, yeah! For us club members, every game comes with a risk. Exactly. I look forward to the punishment our more careless members are going to suffer. Good luck, everyone. I'm so pumped! Everybody, listen up! Did you all check your guns? Are your tanks full? We're all ready, Marabar-san! We're very good at gun battles! Tomita and his friends play with water guns a lot, so they might have an advantage. Uh-huh. We're different men today! Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun smiled confidently, holding their guns in a practiced manner. Their skills must have given them confidence. They even looked different. As we all know, Mion is going to be a tough opponent, but I think Satsuko and Rika-chan could be too. What about you, Reina? You can move fast, but could you end up being their target as well? So be careful. You've been losing a lot of games lately and taking most of the punishments.
Oh! It's just that the recent games weren't my specialty. But, Kiichi-kun, I think you've been losing a lot these days too, haven't you?
You have no idea how miserable I was when I had to go home wearing a bra and my mom saw me in it right before I was about to take it off. Ah!
My last punishment was as terrible as yours. I'm ruined for marriage after having to do that.
Satsuko laughed at us loudly while we were shuddering at the memory of the cruel punishments we suffered in the past. You've been low on both luck and spirit. I know why you've been losing so frequently. That's because, you see, you're both losers. She's right. Once you get used to losing, you just can't stop. After all those losses, your fighting spirit fades away. When you can't believe in yourself, nothing goes right, even if you're doing the same thing as everyone else. You. Haven't you realized that Reina and I took those punishments on purpose because we wanted to spare you that fate? You should be thanking us, not calling us losers. Oh, is that so? I'm very sorry for not thanking you enough then. Satsuko, you just added oil to the flames of my rage. I'll make you regret what you just said. That's the spirit, Kei-chan. This old man hopes you can at least last long enough to serve as entertainment. Reina, you too. You'd better be embarrassed if you were the first one to get shot. But I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. I too think Reina-san is going down first. Prepare yourself for a bad time.
No! Mi-chan, Satsuko-chan, you're so mean!
Reina and Keiichi, go for it. Yay! Mion and Satsuko laughed at us as loud as they could, then moved on to tease their next target. Left alone, all I could do was stomp on the floor in anger. Damn it! I'm going to win! I can't let them laugh at me like that again!
I agree! It feels bad to have them laugh at us like that.
It's not only how it feels, it's also how they step on my pride! Damn it!
Like Mi-chan said, it might be true that you can't stop losing once you get used to it. That's why we have to win today, no matter what! So we can get even!
Reina's eyes look different. She's usually a funny and weird person. But I know she has the determination to do what she needs to. When Reina looks like this, she can be a tough opponent.
Today, I'll follow the first club rule. I'm going to do everything I can to win.
Oh, you sound determined. You sound cool, but also as if you've been going easy on them before. Reina smiled. Or maybe you could have called it a wicked grin. She was serious. She was serious about what she said. I could tell that from her expression alone. Among all the club members, Reina is easily the most sensible one. The rule of our club is that we can do anything in order to win. But she's the only one who has moral qualms in doing it. That's why we rarely have a hard time against her. Except for when she snaps. It's rare to hear her say that when she won't go easy. Damn it! When you grin like that, you leave me no choice. I have to be super serious about this too.
I always have to fight with all I have in our club, but I believe there's a time when I have to get super serious about it. I think today is the time.
Indeed.
Yes!
We pounded our fists together. Usually, we really don't want to lose the game. One asks the other to work together. But Reina didn't ask this time, which meant that she was going to try to defeat everybody by herself. No, not try. She was going to do it by herself. Reina looked really cool at that moment. I wasn't scared. She was seriously going to do it. I'd have to be serious about it and do it too. My fighting spirit had been dented after many losses, but it had begun to burn hot once more.
You look good too, Kichi-kun. You're even scaring me a little. You look like you're going to defeat everybody all by yourself.
I know that's what you're going to do too.
That means we're going to fight against each other at the very end.
We would if we defeated everybody else.
I hope you'll be the last one I have to fight against.
Yeah, me too. We pounded our fists together again. Does everyone remember the rules? You have to call it out when you get hit. Once you're hit, you can't shoot anyone. Even if you did, it wouldn't count. Yeah, and I'd like to confirm the definition of being hit one last time. When somebody shoots you with a water gun, you're hit. I'll break it down more for you, Kei-chan. You're only hit when it's from a water gun. When it's water from a water gun. In other words, you're not hit when somebody splashes you with a bucket of water.
Only direct shots from a water gun count. I'm sure you're not scared of Satoko's chops, are you? I will still have many kinds of traps ready for you. Reina-san, you'll be my first target. I don't think so. You're not strong enough to take me down yet. What did you say?
Oh, I can't believe Reina gave Satoko tit for tat. This is going to be fun. Don't you think so, Kei-chan? I don't think so. At least not for you, because all you'll be doing is choosing which of us is going to shoot you first. Keiichi seems determined to win. Mion seems to sense the fighting spirit in me and Reina. I can tell that she's as serious as we are, just from the way she looks. Alright. I like your spirit. Are you all ready to start? Everybody, get to your positions. The ones you drew by lot earlier. Everybody had to draw lots to pick a place to start the game from. It wouldn't be fun if everybody was close together at the beginning of the game. By the way, my starting position was behind the school building. When I drew this starting position, I thought about hiding until there were only a few people left, like I did in the last game of tag. But a defensive tactic like that wasn't interesting to me anymore. I hadn't been this excited in a long time. My legs were shaking with the excitement. It was my first time experiencing that kind of feeling. I could hear Mion's countdown from some distance away. 3, 2, 1. A single shot of a toy pistol echoed. With that sound, I was already running out around the building. There had to be some underclassmen nearby. I'd usually assumed that somebody else would take care of them, but this time was different. They stood frozen in fear as I ran towards them, screaming at the top of my voice. They took a moment to quickly decide whether to fight or run away, and in that moment I shot one after another. Sorry, guys. You just got unlucky with where you started. Felt bad for them because they lost the game so quickly, so I rubbed their heads to cheer them up and then took their water guns. Yes, that was the key factor in this game. You can't put very much water in a water gun. With 10 people around you in a gun battle, the water could be gone in a minute. I abandoned the gun I used to shoot them, held one of their guns in each hand, and scoped out the schoolyard. Just like I expected, there was an intense battle happening there. In the short time it took me to take care of the area behind the school building, it seems like most of my classmates were already shot. I wasn't surprised though, I kinda knew it'd happen. You need to have a high skill to fight in the open school yard. Especially when most of the club members were there. It must have been like a battle of elephants and ants. What is that Mion is holding? Mion was holding a different water gun from the one she had when the game started. She was now holding one that looked like a huge machine gun. Its range capability, its pump action shooting, the amount of water it could hold were way beyond comparison. There were no restrictions on what kind of water guns we could use today. As long as it was a water gun, we were allowed to use any kind. Most of us had normal pistol-style water guns from a local toy store or something similar. I would have bought a bigger one like Mion's if they had one. But they weren't in stock and I'd have to order it in. In other words, Mion ordered hers a long time ago, just for today. She's always well prepared for when it comes to winning. She must have thought that we wouldn't allow her to use the big water gun if she showed it off before the game started, so she must have hidden it somewhere. It looks like the most of our classmates were shot right after the game started. Only a few were still alive, trying to survive as long as they could by using the heavy construction equipment as a shield. Mion mercilessly shot at them from various angles to make them come out from hiding from behind the shield. Stop hiding, cowards! Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun were trying their best to resist her attack from behind their shield. It looked like they had no chance against her. But that actually wasn't true. After all, the two of them were only still alive, because of all their experience in water gun battles. They survived the first few minutes of her assault, even though 99% of their classmates didn't. And they were still surviving at that very moment. Mion, however, is also a battle-hardened soldier. She used the advantage of her big water tank and gradually but certainly drove them into a corner. It was only a matter of time until she broke them down.
We're cornered! It's not fair that she has a machine gun!
All we have to do is survive till our tank runs low. We don't stand a chance against her when she's shooting at us like this.
They tried to hold out against her, but all they could do for now was to keep running behind cover as Mion strafed closer and closer to them. They wanted to use their 2 against 1 advantage, but it seemed like they wouldn't even get that chance. If they tried attacking recklessly, one of them might get shot and then the other would have no chance of winning. So they grew more cautious, placing their bets on their final chance, but that caused their offense to wane. Oh my god, I love that. Of course, Mion saw through their plan. She was purposely provoking them so that they'd lose their patience and start attacking her recklessly. Mion circled around the construction equipment and now she was standing with her back towards me. If I went up against her machine gun fair and square, I wouldn't stand a chance. So attacking from behind would be the only way for me to defeat her. Even though she was in a defenseless position, there was some distance between us. I was still too far away! But it would still be better to attack her now than to take her head on. Don't hesitate, Keiichi. You won't have this chance again. I stepped out from my hiding place and ran as fast as I could towards her with 2 water guns in my hands. Instead of approaching slowly and silently, I screamed at the top of my lungs. Ah! Me own! What? There you are, Kei-chan. You don't seem a little shocked by my surprise attack, but she immediately pulled herself together. She knew the advantages of her weapon. But she didn't shoot me just yet. She held back, luring me closer. Mion was well aware of how much water she had left. She had the same kind of water gun as me, who had the same range capability, so it would have been down to our technique to decide the winner. She was fighting against one of her underclassmen. She could have defeated them easily. Mion immediately calculated her chance of winning against me and figured out that her only chance was to use the advantage of her water gun. She saw the eye of the tiger in me and recalculated her chances of winning in a split second. Really, I can admire how fast she does those kind of things. I ran at the top speed to shorten the distance between us. Our strengths should have been equal. I had 2 water guns with full tanks, and she had a machine gun with a half-empty tank. We both waited for the perfect moment. Your fighting spirit deserves my respect, Kei-chan. I'm not sure if I would have been a match for you today if I didn't have this gun. I'm disappointed in you, Mion. Your calculations are off today. Did you say that you could have beat me? Because you don't stand a chance! The moment we stepped within range, Mion and I pulled our triggers at the same time! Mion set her sights squarely on me while I was trying to shoot and run at the same time. Her shot would have obviously been more accurate than mine. My shot of water flew towards nowhere. Mion didn't even need to duck. But Mion's shot made a beautiful arc straight towards my chest. I could see the line of water coming straight at me, but I was too unstable to dodge. Mion had no doubt that she had got me. You need more than spirit to defeat me. I knew you'd be the first to go down. I'm still disappointed in you, Mion. Your calculations are really off today. Bullshit! You can't dodge that shot. I'll go straight through you, and you'll regret the moment you chose to come at me screaming rather than creeping up behind. You're really disappointing me today, Mion. You could have figured it out if you just spent one more second to think. You could have figured out the reason why I didn't creep up on you, but screamed as loud as I could instead. Mion noticed my surprise attack and turned around to face me. In other words, she turned her back on the opponents she was fighting earlier. Those opponents heard my scream and saw that she turned her back on them. What? What's this? Mion noticed her back was wet and cold. She finally understood that the underclassmen she was attacking just earlier had shown their fangs and attacked her from behind. I blocked her water shot with my arm. Right before it hit my chest, the line of water was broken into droplets and splattered away. Damn it! I got hit first, so my shot didn't count. You took too long to figure it out. Now get down, Mion. Mion squatted down and covered her head. Now it was me versus Tomita-kun and Okamura. Their reflexes weren't so bad. They knew well that I'd be their next target after Mion was gone. They didn't feel sorry at all for attacking me right after I just saved them from their predicament. I can respect the cruelty and how quickly they shifted gears. They may one day be able to join our club if they keep refining their sense and skill. Our next target is Marabara-san. Let's get him. It's 1 against 2. We can take him. I feel like my voice for Tomita-kun keeps changing. They were, however, one step behind me. It was already too late. For them, Mion was their first target and I was next. But I was different. My first target was them from the start. I didn't even see Mion as my target to begin with because I knew they'd take care of her. I was pointing my guns at them long before they moved their sights from Mion to me. It seemed like they noticed at the last moment that both my guns had been pointed at them from the beginning, which meant it was already too late for them. I jumped over Mion, rolled on the ground, and landed on my feet. I looked as elegant as an athlete who had just finished a perfect performance. I had a gun in each of my hands, and with those guns, I shot them each in the middle of their chests. So fast!
How could the two of us lose against one?
Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun fell to their knees in disappointment. I can't believe you did all this, Kei-chan. I guess I'm off today, like you said. Mion wiped the dirt off her knees, looking frustrated. Don't worry, it wasn't you. Then why did I lose? That's simple! I twirled my guns on the tip of my fingers. I have to win sometimes in order to keep looking so cool! There were only a few people left alive. Reina, Satoko, and myself. Reina and Satoko were fighting fiercely. Were they evenly matched? No, Satoko was pushing her hard. Moving fast, she was driving Reina into a corner. Reina was usually gentle and slow, but today she was different. She was very serious today, and yet Satoko was still overwhelming her. She's a tough customer, even without her tricky traps. Do you remember threatening me earlier? I suppose you were just bluffing.
You move well, but I'm still going to win.
Satoko kept moving around, piling on pressure in order to pin Reina down. She kept shooting, so her tank must have almost been empty, but her shots were still sharp and fast. I noticed a bucket near her feet, which was full of many water guns. I understood seeing that. She'd been taking water guns from others who were already out of the game. In this battle, reloading bullets water, was more crucial than actual shooting. The hole that you put the water in on these guns is rather small. To put water through it from a faucet takes time and it requires a certain amount of skill. In a battle like this, it would almost be suicidal. I understand that well. So I've been taking guns from the people I defeated, but I can only hold one in each hand. Satoko used a bucket to overcome the limit. Reina looked like she only had one water gun. I'd assumed she had two earlier, but she must have used a lot of water during her long battle with Satoko. Looked like she was trying to save her water for the right moment, but with Satoko's fierce attacks, it was obvious that it was only a matter of time before Reina was driven into a corner. However, Reina is also quite skilled. She only pretended to be driven into a corner when she was actually luring Satoko into a place where she'd have the advantage. There was a narrow, twisting path near the gymnasium warehouse behind the school building. With Reina's levels running low, she'd want to turn things around with a single close-range shot. That narrow path was a perfect place for her to do that.
What's wrong? You're slowing down a little. Getting tired?
Oh, I appreciate your concern, but I'm not tired at all. I think you should worry about more of your remaining water. You haven't shot back at me for a while. Your tank is empty, I suppose.
If you think so, why don't you stop hiding and show your face?
I will pass. I'm aware you've been holding on to your last shot.
One shot is all I need. I'll be nice and shoot you in the forehead. I don't want you to get your clothes wet after all.
Oh, I never imagined I could have such a thrilling battle with you, Reina-san. However, with the amount of water you have remaining, I doubt you have enough pressure to make that last shot go far. Satoko was right about that. Reina had just enough water to make one last shot. As the amount of water left in the tank dwindles, the range of shots you can make shortens. That makes the last shot the shortest and weakest of them all. Reina, regardless of absolutely disadvantageous situation, Reina didn't look frustrated. I could tell she had no intention to lose. It was almost like she didn't even see Satoko as a threat. You picked a perfect location for yourself, did you not? I have to tread cautiously. Satoko seemed to understand how dangerous Reina's last shot was going to be better than I did, since she was the one actually fighting against her. I don't play chess very often, but I believe this kind of situation is called a stalemate, is it not? Satoko took out another gun with a full tank and shortened the distance between them slowly and carefully. A gun with a full tank doesn't only have a long range, it also has enough power to make shots more accurate. If they shot each other in a frontal attack, Satoko would have a 99% chance to win. Even so, Satoko was still afraid of Reina's last shot. Satoko shortened the distance even further, smiling as if unafraid, but I could tell she was actually full of fear. Satoko compared the situation to chess earlier, but it wasn't exactly the same. In chess, you can use some pieces to drive the opponent's king into a corner, but in this case, they were only Reina and Satoko. You can lose some of your pieces in order to achieve a win, but Satoko doesn't have any pieces other than herself. A king can't drive the other king into a corner alone. That's called a stalemate. That's why, while at first glance it looks like Satoko has the absolute advantage, they're actually going on equal footing. Let us finish this! It's not like us to wait for the bell to bring an end to this battle.
You're right! Let's do this!
That's strange, I thought. Reina wouldn't have to move just on a dare from Satoko. What kind of plan did she have? Reina had been hiding behind cover for a while, but she came out without hesitation. I noticed something right away. Reina had a different gun! Satoko seemed to take notice of it as well.
I had a plan to hide where my water ran low. I hid a gun in advance.
Damn, she's good! In using a trap at the last moment for a come-from-behind victory, it was as though she was taking Satoko's best skill from her and firing it right back! Satoko no longer had any advantages now that the both of them were pointing guns at each other with full tanks. But she still looked confident. What was going on? Did she have some kind of plan too? That gun you're holding right now is very important to me.
What do you mean?
You would have kept waiting for your perfect shot and would have come out of hiding if you didn't have that gun. At that moment, lightning ran through my brain and I instantly understood the situation. Of course! Reina was in a disadvantageous situation earlier, but it was actually the same for Satoko since she didn't have a chance to make her shot while Reina was in hiding. Reina had remained cautious in order to hit with her last shot, and that made it difficult for Satoko to attack her. However, what if Reina didn't need to take the last shot for a come-from-behind victory. No, I said it wrong. What if Reina got a new gun with a full tank? She'd stop hiding and come out to fight against Satoko. You see, I knew from the beginning that you'd run over here in order to obtain that gun. Let Satoko talk crap, Reina. You don't have to listen to her. Just shoot her right now. Reina thought the same thing. She shot at Satoko without any hesitation. But she frowned in confusion a moment after. What was going on? She couldn't shoot! Was her water gun broken? Or did somebody break it? Did you know that you can easily break a water gun by putting a little bit of sand in an empty tank and pulling the trigger several times?
You knew I was hiding my trump card here and pulled a cheap trick like that, huh?
I told you. You only set one small trap at the last moment. That is the beauty of traps. When it comes to traps, Satoko remained a notch above Reina after all. I couldn't believe Satoko figured out Reina's plan in advance and set a trap to counter it. Reina, you made a big mistake. You should have kept the gun with you. You could have at least made that last shot. But it's too late now for you to pick it up again. Reina was in a worse situation than she was before. She couldn't even take another shot. Be prepared. You told me earlier that you'd shoot me in the forehead, did you not? Well, I will be at least kind enough to do the same favor. Satoko slowly narrowed her distance again and pointed the muzzle at Reina's forehead. Reina still didn't look like she'd given up. She still thought the game was undecided.
Satoko-chan, you're not as good as you think you are.
What did you say?
If you got me with your trap, it'd be your right as the winner to allow yourself the room to breathe and smile like you're doing right now. But all you've done is drive me into the tough spot. You haven't killed me yet. Don't you think it's a little too early for you to act like you've already got me?
I thought you were going to say something much scarier than that. Makes no difference, because I'm going to get you right now.
If I were you, I'd just shoot rather than keep talking. You know why? Because if I didn't, I'd lose.
Lose? Are you talking about me? I highly doubt you can fight with a jammed water gun.
Do you remember the rule? You're hit when it's water from a water gun.
Huh? So what are you saying? When I heard her saying that, I started running. My target was Reina. Satoko was already dead to me. Why? She was going to be shot by Reina within the second. I have absolutely no idea what you're referring to, Reina-san. What do you think you could do with a jammed water gun?
As long as I have water in my gun, I can still fight. Don't you get it yet?
Reina raised her broken water gun up high and smashed its handle in the wall of the school building as hard as she could. The plastic broke easily, and water flowed out of it.
As long as the water from the gun hits you, you're dead! Doesn't matter where the water comes out!
Reina was right. She just saved herself by thinking it through. She was using a real gun, bullets would only come out of one end of the gun. But this was a water gun. She could make her bullets, water in this case, come out of any place, not just the barrel of the gun. What? Satoko finally realized she was standing defenselessly in front of Reina. Satoko's trap was successful, but she overestimated its effect. She should have just shot Reina without hesitation before Reina noticed her new water gun was jammed. She was going to fail because she had grown overconfident of her victory. A second before Satoko pulled the trigger, Reina swung her water gun as if slashing Satoko with a sword. Satoko fired her bullets, but it was too late. A second before Reina would be shot down, a blade of water hit Satoko in the face. No, not hit. It cut her face open.
Your endgame wasn't good enough!
I can't believe I lost! Reina ran towards Satoko, who was still standing in shock, and took her water gun. Reina knew I was her last target and that I was running towards her. Reina! Reina, using her superior mobility, began to duck and weave. We were evenly matched. Neither of us neglected to make any effort possible to take advantage of the situation.
having a one-on-one battle with you. I knew you would disappoint me.
I'm seeing you in a new light today. I didn't know you had the guts.
Rather than a new light, I'd like to see you. I'd like you to see me in a romantic way.
I can try if you let me win.
No thanks.
We circled around the construction equipment trying to take shots at each other. We were both sweating like crazy, but I didn't feel tired. Big drops of sweat tickled as they ran down my body. Rapid bursts of water flew across both of our paths. Neither of us had the advantage or disadvantage. I didn't feel elated that I might win or frustrated that I might lose. I was just enjoying this battle with Reina. It was like a dance. A dance that I couldn't dance alone. A dance that I could only dance with an opponent. Reina sure is sharp when she gets furious. Serious. Gives me chills. Keiichi-san is good too. He's evenly matched with her. I can't tell who's going to win. In fact, none of the observers could tell who was going to win. Neither could we. We had no idea who was going to win. We had no idea when this battle would end. I didn't know why, but it was great fun just to fight against Reina. I didn't even care whether I won or lost. In fact, I never even wanted it to end. As we fired at each other, both of our tanks emptied, shortening our range. Inevitably, it became more and more like a melee than a gun battle. We fired our water guns as if trying to cut each other with blades of water, swinging the gun like a sword. We both came up with the idea to swing the gun hard to generate centrifugal force. Centrifugal force in order to increase the range of our attacks. I dived to duck her shot. I rolled on the ground and landed on my feet. I ducked her shot again and swung my gun like a sword. Who could have imagined that a club's water gun battle would turn into a one-on-one close combat like this? Absolutely nobody! Oh, you think so too, Reina?
You too, Keiichi-kun.
We're both breathing hard, calculating the timing needed to take a closer step. And then we both grinned wickedly at each other. This is so fun. I don't want it to ever end!
Don't hate me if you lose.
No, never. I'd hate myself for ending this game. But I know I won't be the one crying in the end.
I don't know about that. Your feet are getting weak. Like they're made of straw.
Shut up! Wow!
Wow. They both look so cool. Murabari-san, go! Ryugu-san, you can get him!
Became relaxed enough to enjoy the battle, and finally realized that many of our classmates were watching our one-on-one fight. I barely had any water left. I would have had to make the next shot count or I was done for. Seemed like Reina was in the same situation too. The next shot will decide it. I wish we could fill our tanks and keep doing this forever.
Well, people enjoy things because they end eventually. Flowers are beautiful especially because they wither.
I see. That's one way to look at it.
It's been fun fighting against you, but this is it!
Indeed. Sorry, but I'm going to end this battle.
Good luck, Keiichi-kun.
Don't cry when you lose.
Let's do this.
Hell yeah! Whoa!
Wow.
Wow.
Which one of them won?
The cries of the cicadas echoed in the quiet schoolyard. They sounded like the hand of a watch, ticking away the seconds. Neither one of us moved. We took our final shots and now stood motionless. It looked like one of those duels in Western movies.
Who hit the other first? I don't know, I couldn't see it.
Our classmates broke the silence first. They finally realized that our intensely beautiful one-on-one battle was over.
Class press, what is your decision?
Mion in turn realized that she had to deliver a verdict to end the game. But she was just as stunned as the others, and it took her a moment to recover. Mion was taking time to render her verdict. In fact, Rain and I didn't know who won either. My last shot flew fast and splashed sideways as if a blade had cut her chest. I knew that for sure. But But at the same moment, Reina's shot hit me in the shoulder. Whoever shot the other first wins. But we didn't know if it was me or her. That's why we stood motionless, waiting for the verdict to be delivered.
Did you see it, Rika?
I can't tell.
Class press, who won?
Everybody held their breath, waiting for Mion to call it. Reina and I kept staring at each other. The spectators were the only ones who were interested in who the winner was. To us, it wasn't that important. We had a great battle. We had both really wanted to do better than the other. We both wanted to call it a tie. For this great battle, settling for a tie would be the best and most proper option. In other words, this one-on-one fight wasn't a battle to decide the winner. Seems like everybody is thinking the same way. Me?
Yeah.
They can't move if you don't deliver a verdict.
Yeah.
Mion hates to settle for a tie because she loves to draw a line between superiors and inferiors. She tends to settle for a tie when deciding who is the loser because it's more fun to have as many people as possible suffer the punishment. But she's never settled for a tie between winners before. Mion holds a special feeling towards the meaning of being number one. Everybody continued holding their breath, awaiting her verdict. Please make it a tie. Everybody wished for that in their hearts. Mion was hesitating to make the decision. She could have chosen a winner more easily if one of us did even a little better than the other. But even if one of us did a little better than the other, I feel like nothing fits better than settling for a tie. The two of you did great today. Mion finally started speaking. Kei-chan and Reina, you showed us significant spirits and skill today. The explosive power you showed us was so beautiful that it's beyond even the highest praise I can ever give. It's very difficult for me to decide who's the winner should be after watching such an amazing battle.
Then, you mean we have two winners?
I don't like to have two winners. That's not really the point of our club. However, they were both so good that it's very hard for me to decide who was better. So, I'm going to call it a tie for today. And they'll have another battle some other time to decide the winner. I expected she might settle for a tie. But I never thought she'd make us have another battle.
Mara Barsoon! You were awesome! You were so cool! Rika-san, you gave me chills! It was like, you set our hearts on fire!
The classmates rushed towards us and praised us for showing them something that cool. Reina and I were finally released from the tension of battle and dropped to our knees.
Too bad! We tied.
Yeah. I can't wait for our next battle.
Can you give me your hand?
Of course. I was going to ask you the same thing. We both smiled at each other. It was the first time we ever hit it off like this.
That aside.
She's pulled a fast one, hasn't she?
What do you mean? Michan's trying to get away without suffering the punishment while we're distracted.
She was just trying to sound cool, but the main reason she delivered that verdict was to protect herself.
Yeah! Hey!
She's running away! Looks like my guess was right. She's so obvious. The bell rang, a sign that class was over, while we all laughed at Mion. After that...
Good job out there, you two. Here, use this towel.
Rika-chan held out a towel, a big smile on her face. However, Reina and I stepped back and pointed our water guns at her.
Me.
I was already shot many times. I told everybody I was already hit, but nobody believed me. Rika-chan was soaking wet. Well, nobody believed her because she really could be that sneaky, pretending that she was hit in order to stay in the game.
It's your own fault that nobody believes you. Sometimes it's hard to believe anything you say. Meep. Everybody's so mean to me. I feel lonely. I'm lonely like a poor kitten crying in a cardboard box because nobody wants her. Meep, meep.
Boom! The sound came from Reina's head. I saw a circle of smoke coming out of it. Reina must have pictured Rika-chan meowing like a cat in a cardboard box.
mean?
Boom! Reina, you're ruining how cool we looked earlier! Reina's back to her normal self and jumped on Rika-chan like a chameleon capturing its prey. Big Chan struggles to get away.
Come on, everyone! Get back to your classroom now!
Chia-sensei clapped her hands and yelled at us from the window of the teacher's office.
Let the bell ring for class to be over.
Or just begun. Let's go! Everyone exchanged smiles and ran back to the classroom. It's probably just recess.
Oh, maybe. Man. What a way to start it.
Yeah.
A good old club activity.
Yeah. Really get to stretch my vocal cords.
Wow.
That was it!
Alright.
Okay. You know what?
the
I'm
new
cool with that.
chapter.
I'm cool with that. No, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining.
We're easing Blake into this.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, game. Alright, pleasant weather.
It's pleasant weather outside.
One reason I like my house is because it has good ventilation. As long as there's a nice breeze, I don't have to rely on a fan to keep me cool. I can take down my futon from the windowsill, place my cushion near the open window, and enjoy the cool breeze of the evening. According to my page-day calendar, it's June 1983 today. While it was still June, it seemed like summer skipped the rainy season and was already coming around the corner. This was very abnormal, apparently. Even if it was abnormal weather that only comes around once in 100 years. If it was supposed to come in June of 1983, then it wasn't so much of a big deal. It was inevitable. On the other hand, the sudden evening shower on the way home from school was more unpredictable than anything else. Every day had been in perfect harmony, as if it was all carefully planned. Felt like something good was going to happen this year. How should I put it? It's like the feeling I get when I roll a 6 on the first throw of a board game and start off with a huge lead. When it comes to a die, the more you roll it, the more the total averages out. We actually roll a die many times every day of our lives. So it's not like one stroke of luck is really a big deal to be overly happy with. If I roll a 6 on my first throw and then on the next throw, and then 1 on the next throw, the total is 7. If you believe in fate, you might say there's a higher possibility of a 1 to come up on the die. But you can never actually tell what number you will roll. That's what fate is all about. You might roll a 6 again. Chance of rolling a 6 twice in a row is 1 out of 36, but if you look at each throw one by one, there's only a 1/6 chance of that miracle. The glass wind chime Satsuko put up yesterday was making a refreshing sound. Okay. Alright, so Chapter 6, Tsumihoroboshi. Your predictions, Joey.
What?
I mean, just like, what do you think might happen? I mean, what do you think the story's going to focus on?
Okay, to be honest with you, I have no idea what was going on in that first part where they were like... I
think that first part's going to be... It's alluding... I think that first part is what happens at the end of this story.
Mm-hmm. Like a flashback kind of thing.
I mean, Reina did say, here is a story of how Reina... What was the word?
Did what she had to do.
Or, like, did a great job, or what?
Did her best.
Did her best, that's what it was. Where Reina did her best. So I think this arc is going to focus on Reina.
Mm-hmm.
We might learn more about her backstory, because we don't know a whole lot outside of, like, just exposition of her, I guess, kind of snapping. She goes to another school in another town. She kind of snaps, breaks a bunch of windows, beats up a couple kids with a bat, and gets expelled and brought back to Okinomiya.
Mm-hmm.
So, we might get more detail into, I guess, Reina's thought process. I'm kind of hoping. Because after 5 chapters, we don't know a whole lot of...
There's so many things
Reina's
that...
thoughts.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Okay.
There's so many things that Reina can do that are so, like... curse-leaned, I guess you could say. Because we've always tried to determine, is it curse or is it
the curse
people?
theory or the people theory.
And, like, Reina just throws a loop into all of that. Because she just can read people's minds, know what they're exactly thinking, sometimes and know what they've done in the past.
Has she?
Whenever she met Shion in the bus station, whenever in the first chapter she knew when Keiichi was lying to her.
I wouldn't say she can read people's minds. I would say she has a level of awareness that is much higher than what you would expect from her. I think that's more along the lines of what it is, and it could be more depending on why, or if it's even significant as to why she has that high level of awareness. I guess we'll see. But I am curious as to where the story goes with Reina, because we don't know a whole lot about her after 5 chapters, and it seems like we don't get a whole lot of her inside thoughts. It was nice that chapter 5 we got a good impression of Shion and everything that she's been going through, and everything from the Sonozaki perspective. But getting it from Reina's perspective, I'm not sure if we'll get that or not, but it'll be nice to get more in depth of Reina as a character.
And what makes me... Didn't we say that it could also be a third party? Like,
Oh yeah.
the
So,
Sonozaki...
okay, so we have 3 theories then. We have a pure curse theory. We have a pure people theory, that it's only people doing this. But then there's that third theory that kind of blends together those 2 ideas, is the cult theory.
Yeah.
Where we think it's a third party, almost cult-like. We're kind of suspicious that it could be a cult, but not sure. But it is certainly a group of people that is involved in the killings.
Yeah.
That's something that is almost undeniable fact at this point, based on circumstantial evidence. Especially chapter 1, when that group of people showed up outside of Keiichi's door from that van to, like, attack him.
Yeah.
And he got away. So that makes me think it is a group of people, but thanks to chapter 5, we know that group's not the Sonozakis.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the Sonozakis.
They just kind of used it to...
I mean, it certainly worked out for them.
Yeah.
The killing certainly was advantageous for them. But they weren't the ones doing it. They still have their own demons, their own fucking issues, but they didn't kill those people.
I have a small feeling that Reina is part of that group. Because she has always been the person that is like, you're thinking about leaving? What are you thinking about leaving for?
She has a strong obsession with Oyashiro-sama and a very thick belief of the curse.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't be surprising if she was a member or at least an inductee.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like she's being inducted into the group.
Yeah. Those are my thoughts.
I mean,
So far.
it's also just as possible she has nothing to do with the third party.
Or she's just
And just
crazy.
more... I wouldn't say crazy as much as I would say obsessed. I would say there's a fine line
There is a fine line?
between the two, yeah.
Okay.
You can be obsessed with something. It's
Not be crazy?
I mean, it gets to a point where you're dancing that line. And I would say it depends. There'll be times where Reina snaps and goes full, like,
How dare
sociopathic,
you?
like, psychopath murderer.
Yeah.
But normal Reina, I would say, is just obsessed. I would say, a moderately healthy obsession.
Yeah.
Somewhat in the unhealthy obsession with Oyashiro-sama whenever the topic is brought up.
Yeah. That's why they
But
don't
whenever
bring
the
it
top,
up.
whenever it's not brought up, she is normal Reina.
That's why they don't talk about Oyashiro-sama around Reina.
But yeah, short episode. We're just now reaching an hour.
Alright.
All right, it was a short one, but we're back, baby.
Let's get it!
It's like this has been going for 3 years.
I mean, we gotta finish it.
I mean, we're going to finish it.
I mean, we have to.
I mean, the reason why it took so long last time, but between chapter 5 and chapter 6,
Yes.
would you believe it? It's more technical difficulties. It's like the mod wouldn't work because
And
there was a
then-
new installer for the mod pack that we wanted to use, and for some reason it wouldn't let us download the new installer. James figured out around the issue. It was something about Python or something, but he figured out a way around it. And yeah, we got Higurashi again. So yeah, expect a new episode of Higurashi every Sunday, as usual.
As usual. We'll see you guys next Sunday.
Bye.
Bye.